Alright, back with another beer review, Budda beer review. This time I got two beers. I got 04 and 05. And the story behind these two beers is Budda came over from Kalamazoo with me. They did a homebrew day up at the brewery up at, what was the name of the brewery, Tanya?
Was it Saltwater?
Salt Springs Brewery in Saline. And Budda did a 10-gallon batch, and we decided to do an experiment with it, and put it in two 5-gallon containers to ferment. One of them we put some English ale yeast, the other one we put some American ale yeast, hence the 04 and 05. And I wanted to see the comparison between the two. So we're going to figure out what kind of characteristics were added by the yeast. So I'm going to start by just pouring 04. And this is the 04. Good carbonation. Color is dark, very pale, definitely a pale. Strong hop notes. He used some fresh, some leaf hops that were from last year. His buddy Jason actually gave us some hop plants, but he also gave Budda some hops. So at the end of after the boil, he threw in the fresh leaf hops, which was kind of I think it was a mixture of Cascade and Chinook, I want to say, and I can't remember what the other hops were he put in it during the boil. Definitely a green. I mean, I can smell malt. The maltiness is coming through. But definitely a green hoppiness to it. Now I'm going to pour the 05. Again, same grain bill as the 04. The only difference between these two was the yeast. They were actually brewed together, so it's like having a brother and a sister beer. Alright, 05 is a little more carbonated, I think, than the other one. Oh, the immediately a different aroma. This one, I thought this one, the hoppiness was in the 04. Was coming through the aroma. This one, much more sharper. It has a cleaner hop smell to it. It's sharper is about the best word to describe it. It's more pungent. This one's there, but it's kind of subdued when you put them together. So let's go to taste. Let's start with the 04. This is the English ale yeast. Oh, malty. Immediately, it's very malty. For as much hop aromas that's there, I don't get almost no hops in the no bitterness whatsoever in the taste. Yeah, very malt forward. Finishes malty. Reminds me of trying to think, like an English. It's very almost like a red, like a true red that's really malt forward. That's what this reminds me of. I mean, I see there's great carbonation. It's still got the chill haze. I've only had it for a day, but it's fairly clear. It was very clear in the bottle before I put it in the freezer, which was awesome. This is interesting. It's not what you expect. It's definitely not a pale. It's definitely not an IPA, even though that's what it was intended to be. The yeast definitely, I don't know if it didn't ferment all the way through, but that malt is right there from beginning to end. I can definitely taste the maris otter. A lot of maris otter in this. Let's go to our 05. Again, same malt. Only difference is the yeast. This one definitely has a, like I said, sharper, more pronounced hop smell to it. Oh, yeah, definitely better. More balanced. This one, 04, tastes very sweet, very malty. This one tastes very balanced. Feels like it tastes like it's got a little more mouthfeel to it. Yeah, just an all-around better beer. It's smooth. I really like 05. 05 is definitely my favorite of the two. Again, color, you wouldn't know any difference. On aroma, this one's sharper. This one, I think the hoppy smell from the leaf hops it's kind of subdued behind the, I think the maltiness. You can smell the grains and the maltiness in the 04. And the 05, because it's not as malty, I think it lets the hops shine through a little bit more, and you get a little bit, it's less sweet, and you get a more balanced beer. It's in no means, the hops are not very strong in it. It reminds me of maybe a 28 IBU pale ale. It's a very good beer. I mean, it's a drinkable, solid. It reminds me of a summertime kind of beer. I don't get a whole lot of flavor profile from it. It's well balanced. The hops are there, and the maltiness, the levels are very, very, very level. So it's kind of, I like that a lot. That's a really good beer. Budda, good job on this one. 05, I like it a lot. I know it's the same beer. I'm not sure what happened to 04. I know you told me you could tell a difference. This one is definitely, it reminds me of a British style beer where it's a very, very, very malt forward beer with almost no IBUs whatsoever, even though it has the same hops. It's weird that I don't think the 04 really finished this beer. I know that the ABVs in these, we didn't quite end up with 10 gallons. We ended up short. So it raised it condensed the wort and basically raised the alcohol level in these. So these are probably close to, I know we didn't do a reading on it, but I'm pretty sure they're probably around 7 to 8%. So they're very strong beers. I don't think that was good for the 04. I think the 04 didn't get to ferment all the way through before dying out. I know the carbonation's a lot different, even though it's holding a small head. But even when you look inside and you see the level of bubbles coming off the bottom of the thing, I mean, the bubbles are 3 times more inside the 05 than the 04. So I wouldn't call it a failure. I just think I don't think the 04 was as strong of a yeast for the style and the ABVs in this beer. But I appreciate them, Budda. Definitely, you're right. 05, I agree, the better of the two. 04 is drinkable. It requires somebody who really likes a malt forward beer. I don't mind it. It's just when you drink them side by side, immediately I think most people are probably going to want to drink that 05 before they are over the 04. And that's my beer review, Budda. I'll do the 88 side by side tomorrow. Hope all's well. Thank you for watching. Later.